Drum roll. Who's my drum roll person? Vitaly. That was a very weak air drum roll. All right, so here, let me share my screen. I don't want to spoil anything. Okay, last week we were talking about activity scoring, which is very helpful. And I feel like our main two takeaways there was being able to do ad hoc, right? You kind of know what to look for. And then number two, to be able to layer on here in search to pre-qualify a list beforehand. So what types of activities are you looking for applied in search before you do a campaign, so that you're not like, going through and every other one is just not a good fit. You're just wasting your time in there. So I feel like both of those are very valuable. So someone brought it up and I was like, oh yeah, let me just see if I can export some info. So I did, and it took me a couple hours to grab this. And I have two sheets here that we'll look at. One is focused on recent activity and new job, and then this one is more of the specs on the profile. And so here we have, I'll just kind of walk through. We've got the name. I cleaned it up to make it anonymous. So we've got the name, just so you know it's a real person, their profile pic, headline, if it, right, what it is and if it exists, industry, if that matters, summary, if it's a paid account or not, if it's an open profile, which means you can message them and they have to have paid or not, follower count, connection count. And yes, I realize that this is going to break down because you can't get this number from everyone. And then mutual connections. And I'm looking at three things here up on the top. So if I scroll, they're going to be frozen at the top. I'm looking at the average, which is the average, the median, which is, take the high and the low, what's in the exact middle. So sometimes it's just helpful to see both. And then what percentage has, because something like, if they have a profile pic, average and median doesn't mean anything. So what percentage of people that converted have a profile pic? So this is helpful, but the big shocker, the really big shocker in my mind comes when you're looking at this other tab. So we'll get there last because I want to do the thunder last. So I'll read this and then feel free to chime in. 96% had profile pics. Now, what I would be curious to know is, if you're looking through a list, what's the typical percentage? Maybe 96% of users have one. Does anybody know the data on that one? No. So that was, and this is, keep in mind, let's see, this is from about just shy of 2,000 people. So just shy of 2,000 people in about 15 different industries. Well, actually, industries that we're working with, we're prospecting numerous industries. So I feel like it's pretty good spread. So most people have a profile pic. Most people have a headline. 50% have a summary. I thought that was kind of interesting. I figured more people would have their about section filled out. So maybe that's not as important as you might think. Oh, paid and open, like 1%. I was surprised about that as well. I mean, we're talking with almost 2,000 conversions. That surprised me. Okay, let's get into this one. Followers, right? This is one thing that we talked about. Susan, are you here? Because last week Susan was like,
I'm here.
what it's like once you get over 500, what matters, And so the average here, and I'll sort this from it high to low. So the high being 28,000 followers, the low being just a couple. The average is 1,100 followers, which probably translates to about 1,100 connections. And so I feel like you kind of can pull away from on this and say, once someone has about 1,000 connections, it's probably a good activity indicator that they're active on the platform. If you kind of scroll down, there's a lot, and that's the average, but how many are above 1,000? Should look at that.
How do you define active?
How do you define active?
I mean, I could have 1,000 followers. I haven't been there for 10 years.
Right. Because, here, the idea is that these were people who are active because they converted. These are people that we've spoken to, they engaged, and then they opted into a sales funnel. So actually.
Oh, you're talking about your convert. I'm thinking active on LinkedIn.
Yeah, no, these are real people that converted to sales funnels. So they're all for sure active.
Active on LinkedIn in the sense that they are responsive, that they check it often enough that if you send them a message, they'll see it.
And that's what you want. Exactly. They at least see it. Yeah.
Hey, does anyone know how to do a data graph on here? Like I'm saying, like the average is 1100, but when I think about it, I'd almost want to see like that bubble chart where it shows you where most are, because there could be, I'm looking at 1,000 and above is only like 300 people. So actually there's a lot with less than 1,000.
Yeah.
What chart is that?
You should be able to graph that. That's a function. You have to play around.
It may be interesting to look at how many are below 500 and how many are above, like pick those three.
There you go.
500, 1,000, 2,500. Oh, there you go. Wow. Oh boy. You know, also I'm wondering, when you have this data, this is real general, but how do you find the industry? Is it their company or what they are selecting? Because I think we talked about that last call, where this may be an HR person in a, manufacturing company. What's the industry?
Yeah, the industry that you're seeing on here is the one that they put on their profile. So it looks like this is follower count and this is how many people. Well, shoot, actually, that's saying most have less than 1,000. I wonder if I can, does anyone know how to split this up so that we can see? Let's see, I'd like to maybe chunk it up so it's a little bit smaller, right? Is anyone a pro here?
No.
You want to make the column smaller values.
Yeah, I want the
every 500 or so.
I don't even know what to say other than I need someone who's good at charts to figure out where the bulk are.
Isaac, you mentioned industry, and how do you look at a person's profile and tell the industry? Do you have a hack for that?
This was scraped, so I don't know how.
Okay, I don't either. I figured maybe there's a view source, where you can find it out somehow, but maybe not.
Let me just delete this chart here. Let's see here. So 100 to 200. So we're starting at 1,000 rows. Let's see here. How many people have less than 300? So most people actually have less. Oh, so 300, 30% have 300 or less.
That confirms my experience, because actually most users on LinkedIn are inactive. So there will be like under 500. The majority are.
And then between 300 and 600. Yeah, just another couple hundred more.
Well, actually the median number tells you, the median number tells you that there are exactly half of the people have over 500 connections and the other half have less than 500 connections.
Yeah, but I want to see if there's a range where more people are sitting, right? Yeah, interesting. Well, I'll do this. How about I'll see if I can find someone who's better at charting this out, and then I'll add some histograms, and then I'll share the link, and I'll get rid of the raw data. I think that'd be.
If you want some help, just let me know. I might have a way that we can do this.
Sweet. You want to? Can you shoot me a message on LinkedIn so I don't forget?
Sure.
That'd be awesome. Mutual connections. I've got one kind of outlier here where there's 500. This person must be just a power player though, because they're almost maxed out. That's probably Mike O'Neill.
I'm right there.
One question though, mutual connections to what other account?
To the person that, so this is info from our clients. So this would be 500 mutual connections with the client.
So here it is though, like, let's say that one client has 2,500 connections versus another client has like, 250 connections. So it's,
Mhm.
again, it's very subjective. So do we know the host client for this particular example? What
No, this is all lumped together.
Okay.
But
Because the
I'm
mutual
seeing-
connections would be subjective to the host client.
well, kind of. I was kind of more looking for, is there like all these people converted? So are we seeing a lot of mutual connections? Not a whole lot of mutual connections.
Wow.
We've ran campaigns, so this would be 0. We've ran campaigns where we were like, maybe mutual connections really matter. So let's connect with their team first. And I'm looking at this data and saying, we grabbed it from almost 2,000 people, and only, we get to 2 mutual connections for only 700 of them.
I'm wondering if the degree of separation, could it have been a group? Because there had to be, it probably could.
We don't do anything. We're not doing anything with groups. This is just your standard.
No, but I mean, the point of the degree of separation, it's either, someone that knows someone, or you're in the same group, or you have the same alumni. So there's some commonality.
This would be, we're both connected with a person. This column would not be a group or any work or education experience. Right? Does that make sense?
And by converted, you say they just connected. What do you mean by converted?
Converted is we had a conversation and they said yes to our offer to go into our sales funnel.
Oh, okay. That kind of converted. Okay.
Yep.
So there is no rhyme or reason. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying it looks like mutual connections aren't a super heavy indicator.
Is there any indicators?
Well, this is where I was saying the thunder comes down under right here. I'll just drop it. Percentage who posted 53%, 33, 28, 28, 21, 40, 30. Look at that. And the average is like 3 to 5%, right? That's typically what we see. So my takeaway after looking at all of this information is I'm going to immediately begin by enabling the filter posted in the last 30 days, because they're so much more likely to convert.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's the first people I contact is those posted, and that's the best indicator.
Yep. I don't know that this really is helpful because they got a new job and they may have been promoted out of decision making, but yeah. So this in my mind is super huge, super huge. So we're looking at about, I don't know, 15, 4, 7, 10, probably about just shy of 2,000 here again, 1,500-ish maybe.
Can you explain those again? What the A's and the conversion count? What are we?
This is the initials of the person we're working with. So, and these are the amount of people that responded positively and wanted to be like sent an email or a phone call.
And we don't know the percentage of the whole of that, or that's just.
So this is how many conversions happened.
Okay.
And then this is how many of these. So 432 people converted. 230 of them have posted in the last 30 days, which is about 50%. So if you are wanting to make the most of invite restrictions, I would say hands down, step 1, sort by who posted in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
That's my big takeaway as an agency owner is we start there. This is number 1. New job, assuming that they fit the criteria now. New job is number 2. And then I feel like everything else is not as important.
So there's 53% of those decision makers had posted.
Yeah, these are people who were decision makers who converted off of LinkedIn into a sales funnel. And then half of them, in this person's case, half had posted. In this one's case, 33% had posted, 28 had posted.
I find that to be a really high number. I mean,
that's
in the
exactly
world
my
of executives and
do you want to know
CEOs?
Do you want to know who these types of people are?
Yeah, that's I want to know the titles. That's probably the most interesting thing. Do you have titles?
It's the same people right here. So I can tell you that it's a mix. And so there's going to be founders. There's going to be VPs, C-levels. There's going to be people in like logistics, transportation, some in marketing.
A lot in marketing, perhaps.
Well, I can tell you in all of these instances, the only one where it would be marketing would be this one. 12%. Oh,
so
sorry.
Marketing 30, people 31%. Do 31%, while the executives and all them do 53%.
This one, so here, I'll give you some more info on targeting. But again, don't get hung up on anything other than this is way higher than it should be. So this is going to be founders of nonprofits. This is going to be developers in tech. This is going to be manufacturing. Is that surprising? Manufacturing. This is going to be this is going to be food and beverage. C-level, by the way. This is going to be tech. This is going to be logistics and freight. This is going to be a mixture of healthcare, marketing, and HR. Who's this person? This is going to be tech. This is going to be freight. Who's NR? I don't remember who NR is.
So what you're saying is title is not really important. It's not about title. It's about the engagement level.
Yeah, I feel like if people are using the platform, they're more likely to pursue an opportunity. Maybe it's a mindset.
They're more likely to see it. That's for sure.
They're definitely more likely to see it, and maybe more than being likely to see it. Maybe their frame of mind is I'm more open to exploring opportunity as well. You know, if they're taking the time to invest.
Well, I'll also propose from my own personal experience that it's also how busy you are right now and how responsive you are right now. Because right now my LinkedIn inbox is backed up with people that I would like to talk to, but it's just not a priority for me right now compared to my workload. So, and guess what? My posting is correspondingly low too. I mean, I have posted in the last 30 days, but that may be true for a lot of people. If they're just in a phase of their business that they're super focused and not posting, means they're just also not responding to things that don't feel urgent for them.
So this is what we threw together. I put this together after last week as a kind of resource for using search to filter the activity that we discussed last week. I actually used it in a sales call yesterday, like a more refined version. But I think that if we're looking at those numbers and really the posted plus job change really is a big deal. What I'm going to do every time from now on, every time someone wants to do an initiative, I'm going to grab that search amount, plug it into here, write down how many people posted in the last 30 days, how many people changed jobs in the last 90, because I know that they've been on the platform. But really, this is a big one. And look at how many people are in tier 1 and tier 2. Because this really is, in my mind, where the majority of the opportunity is going to be. And if this is a small number that's not renewing every month for those new people to go in there, it's just a short-term project I don't want to do. Something to think about.
Isaac, is there any correspondence between people that are posting and a paid account?
Posting and paid. I don't have that on the same sheet. Sorry, Jer. I would like to know that though.
Yeah. Because if you can conclude that people that have a paid account are also posting, maybe we can filter down on that more.
True, but also if we're looking at only 1% of the people that converted had paid, it's just such a small number. I don't know that it'd be worth the effort, honestly.
I find it surprising that the amount of paid is so small and the amount of posting by these people is so high. If you're going to be an active posting guy, 53% had posted. Wouldn't you expect those folks to have also taken the time to get a premium account?
Maybe
not necessarily.
Posting's free.
Yeah, posting's free. And the thing is if you are not in a sales role, then
you're not posting probably.
No, that's not. No. I just find that 1% are on a premium account. Because if you're establishing, if you're a business owner and trying to establish thought leadership and get messaging out and so on and so forth, but you're not actively prospecting. I mean, I question sometimes whether I should have my sales navigator account, right? I mean, it's because if you're not actively prospecting, you don't need the premium.
Well, I wasn't talking about Sales Navigator necessarily, but I understand. I guess it's just an opinion. It's the numbers are just so small. 1%, 53. I understand 26 and 39, but the numbers are so extreme.
Yeah.
Have a look on the other study. There are 760 million accounts, right, on LinkedIn. It'd be interesting how many paid accounts. My guess is it would be like 2%, 5%. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And here's 1%. It's 1% here with these people that have posted. 53% of these folks have posted, and it's 1%.
Yeah. So,
one thing on the paid though, there's a lot of legacy premium, that have this like from a long time ago, they're grandfathered in, and there's a very small amount that are actually sales navigators. So, some of them just don't even realize they have a paid account because it's $20 a month. Yeah. So. But I think, is there, if we wanted to do something like this, is there any tips that you would give the audience in terms of how to aggregate the data? Any shortcuts to doing this? Or is it like you have to look at every single profile and copy and paste? Because that could take years.
Well, like I was saying, I think my takeaway really is right here. Who's posted? So if we are having if we're doing an initiative, like it's a new client saying, this is who we're looking to target. I'm going to say, all right, who are we looking to target? We're looking at the United States. Great. We're looking at Chief Safety Officer. Right. We can only sell to them. There are 7,500 people. I'm going to go 7,500. I'll just pull this over here. I'm going to go, how many of them posted in the last 90 days? 925. So those are much more likely to engage with us and convert. And then these folks here, they have been on the platform doing an update on the profile in the last couple of months, 295. And I'm going to say to the person that wants to do this campaign, I'm going to say, all right, realistically, we have probably about 2,700 people that are really worth talking to. You could talk to the rest, but with only 100 invites a week, and they're going to be really unlikely to accept them anyways, you're going to hit a slow patch. Is it worth it to you to just clean up the slow patch? Probably not. So Judy, this is what I'm saying in my mind. This is the most important to me. And I'm going to plug it in here to see how many people we really have to work with. So tier 1 is really like 925 people. That's who I honestly, I feel like what we might even end up doing is exclusively working with a bit larger audience where this number is pretty big, and then just really, really focusing on engaging with those 1,000 people in a very high quality, non-automated, very tailored way. I could see that happening.
Yeah, if you're doing a national campaign, you're game for that. If you're doing a local campaign in Minneapolis or something, you're going to run out of targets,
Right.
By June.
You have to, or you're going to either run out of targets, or you have to change your services and your billing agreement. That's what I feel like is kind of the rub is, well, how do you do billing? What's the expectations? Is it invites, or is it leads in, and then for how long? Mike, I don't even want to work with I don't want to take on an initiative if we don't have like 6,000 people right in here.
Yes, I know what you mean. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so get paid.
Yeah. Well, and we've said no. I hate to do it, but we've said no to projects and clients because they want to sell, and it's just not going to be a good opportunity for us as a service provider. And so it is what it is. Even like we recently wrapped up a campaign where we took the time to save the top 1,000 consumer packaged goods companies in the US, and then worked through the whole couple thousand. There's just several thousand on the list totally. They're not very active. And the conversion and reply rates were way lower than I want them to be. And I wish I would have known this beforehand, because I would have said expectations wise. I mean, they have a bunch of connections, but it's not active. It's like, it's good to know. I'll say no to that kind of campaign in the past, and anything that doesn't really hit the bar with this.
So it matters maybe a little bit less now with 100 a week than it did when we were pumping out 400 a week for folks. Maybe just a little bit less,
Yeah.
But I did a project in Boise, and we did the searches, found his addressable market. It was 5,000 total, period.
Yeah.
And we ended up not going forward. I mean, it was too small for how much money he was going to have to pay.
Yeah. There's an opportunity for someone to do those projects, I feel like, but it's not my company. I want to do as many conversions as possible with as little work as possible and charge the most amount of money for it.
Set it and forget it for 3 months, right? Just let it go.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually, who I would really like to hear from on this is Jer, because Jer's, if you don't know, Jer's in the Netherlands, and they just don't have as many people there. And so Jer's working with smaller numbers. Do you have any wisdom, oh great one, on this?
Yeah, that we have so much less invitations to send out is not really a problem here, because I took it already slow, 30 a day, and running out of prospects is not really that big of a problem, because the conversion rates here are much higher, because you can target really in a small manner. But you have to be more precise on the text and on the message sequence. And if the company doesn't know what they're talking about, it's very hard to convert in these small kinds of numbers.
Yeah, so you really need to know how to communicate what you do and your offer to your audience. So the copy is king, you're saying. When the audience size is small, the copy is king.
Yeah, it is.
Jared, do you save people who convert on LinkedIn as sales funnel into a dedicated list? Like a sales nav list?
To what end?
Do you record this? Like when someone, that's the wrong one. When someone converts from LinkedIn to your client sales funnel, do you save them to a dedicated sales nav list?
Yeah.
I would be very curious, because your demographic is so different. I'd be very curious if the percentage who posted is similar, because you're probably doing a lot higher quality, honestly. And with a smaller initial audience, all you got to do is pull up search for people that are in that list, and then, you know, it's count and then who posted in the last 30 days.
Yeah, I'm going to look into that for you.
Yeah, that'd be fascinating. You don't have to, but since it's such a different ecosystem over there, I'd be curious if that's the same trend. Yeah. All right, we're up on the hour here. Any final thoughts on what we're looking at for these specific, you know, items on the profile and their activity on the platform? Any final thoughts? Cool. So I feel like my main takeaway is this was my jaw dropper
Thank you.
right there. All right, cool.
That's a great confirmation, Isaac.
Yeah. All right. Well, tune in next week.